All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Around the Draft. We got the full order of guys today. We got Dalton and Jake. We love to see that. Need everybody's opinions for this. We're doing the AFC East. It's another 3 round mock draft. We love mock drafts. It's Monday. Kind of forgot to throw that out every time I tweet the show out when we do mock drafts. Not sure how I forgot to do that until this episode, but whatever. It is a mock draft Monday, though, for us on this show at least. So we'll get into that. Obviously, big game last night was fun for some people. I'd say actually most people. Definitely these two. I'll say that much. These two definitely had a good time in a lot of ways, probably. But yeah,
I didn't even think I was going to care that much going into it, but just watching Mahomes look normal for the first time ever, it just felt satisfying.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I hate to be a hater, but I sure felt like one last night.
Hey, you guys, I think especially if you're in the division with him, you can be a hater all you want. You can throw out probably egregious and disrespectful takes, and everybody will just be like, they're Raiders fans. It's okay.
That's probably how you feel when Lamar Jackson loses in the.
Here's the thing: is I actually love Lamar Jackson a lot, even as a Steelers fan. It's really hard to hate that guy. It just is. So I don't even have honestly, if they would have won the Super Bowl, I'd be like, I wish that didn't happen, but also good for Lamar, man. That's kind of where I'm at with him.
Yeah. Mahomes, I feel like different kind of hateable though. There's a lot of things specifically to hate about Mahomes.
Yeah, he's not nearly as endearing to me as Lamar Jackson is. Let me put it that way. When Lamar loses, I'm like, damn. Except for whenever it's us, I'm like, damn. I'm sorry, dude. It sucks. He really feels. I feel like he really feels it. You know what I'm saying? But no, Super Bowl was fun for most people. Congrats to the Eagles. What are you gonna say, man?
Speaking of which, who had Jalen Hurts getting a Super Bowl ring before both Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen?
You know, the NFL's
on their bingo.
The NFL's a bitch sometimes, guys. Listen, when you play the AFC and you have to go through the Chiefs, this is what happens, right? All the NFC guys get a chance first before you.
It was almost Brock Purdy.
Almost Brock Purdy. But we found out the line of for you to have a better team than the Chiefs, and also when you have to have at least a Jalen Hurts level quarterback, which means that you basically have to have Jalen Hurts because I feel like he's almost in a tier of his own in some ways in this league. So it's kind of whatever. But he's in a weird spot. But great game by him. Didn't ultimately the offense, despite being pretty good, didn't really need to do a lot because the defense was like, hey, Patrick, have you felt a fist in your face before in your life? Jalen Carter, that one play in particular, smacked him upside the head in a way I don't think I've ever seen anybody smack him upside the head in a football game. It was crazy. But no, it was a fun game. Hopefully everyone had a good time. But we're officially, fully, everyone is in draft season now. We are fully in at least off-season mode, if nothing else. So definitely going to focus on that. So again, we're doing the AFC East this week for the 3-round mock. Very interesting division because you have the 3 teams who basically took turns shitting their pants in different ways throughout the year, and then the Bills. It's just everyone else and then the Bills. So we're going to try to help those 3 teams that are not close to the Bills right now get a little closer to them, and then for the Bills, try to maybe get them over the hump a little bit. Almost did it this year. Probably easily could have, just didn't happen for them, but maybe they would have run into the bus of the Eagles anyway, and it wouldn't have mattered. I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah, so we'll try to help these teams out, get them where they are. I have a Jets hat on only because they're the only team I have a hat for in the AFC East. I also, just so everyone's clear, because you may watch the show and know I'm a Steelers fan, I'm not wearing this because I want Aaron Rodgers to be my quarterback next year. I certainly don't. That conversation needs to stop happening yesterday. We need to not do this. Mike, I'm telling you, it's not the answer. It's not. I don't know what it is, but that ain't it.
Have to go through that combo.
Probably.
No, they're going to end up with Stafford.
Listen, if it's Stafford, I will throw a party.
Stafford and Cup.
Hey, my site editor, it's still Curtin, shout out, made a trade proposal. He says, I don't know what the trade is going to look like, but give me both of them if you're going to give me one of them. And I'm like, sure, I'm down for that. But no, not going to hedge my bets on that happening. But let's jump into the mock draft. That's what we're here for. Let me pull everything up here. But just while I'm getting everything set up, what do you guys kind of feel like with this division? What can the Bills do? We'll start there because the other 3 teams have a lot of issues we have to deal with. We'll talk about that. what do you think the Bills have to do, specifically the draft, you think, to kind of get over the hump that they've been unable to get over in the AFC?
I think defense is going to be the biggest thing. I think they've been kind of moneyballing that defense for years, and it's just they're going to need to add some guys. Von Miller's not really a value added anymore, I don't think, on that team. I think he's just taking away cap space at this point. I think defense overall, like front four and secondary especially. And then, on the other side of the ball, I don't know if the draft is the right answer, but I think Josh Allen's going to need another weapon to really be able to maximize what he's doing. That's kind of where I think they're at.
What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, I would say defense. Just watching the AFC Championship game, I think I saw a tweet that during the game yesterday about how it must be frustrating as a Bills fan, to see how the Chiefs looked yesterday compared to 2 weeks ago. But I mean, the way the Eagles were just able to and I'm not saying they need to replicate exactly what the Eagles did, but I think that game really just showed the difference between a team that is able to handle a team like the Chiefs, like the Eagles did, and a team like the Bills who still can't get over that hump. So I would agree with Dalton. I think defense is where I would focus. I don't think, I like their receiving core. I don't think they really need to add a weapon as bad. Josh Allen did just fine last year. So
MVP winner,
Yeah.
Surprisingly so, considering the All-Pro votes, but still MVP.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was about what he did with his legs this year. Like, that was a big part of his game. And primarily because it's hard to say who their number one guy is right now.
I mean, I would say Shakir, by default, is probably the best of the players in that group. Doesn't really profile as a 1, though. He's much better as a 2 or 3. Kincaid has been, hit or miss. Cooper didn't really provide the spark you wanted him to, but maybe he comes back. Coleman, it was a rookie and kind of up and down himself.
They got Matt Collins.
Yeah, right. Matt Collins.
Shoeless
Matt Collins, yeah. No, but I think you're right.
I think they have 3 really – yeah. It's like they have 3 real – I think they have the potential to have 3 really good number 2s and Matt Collins.
Much. That's kind of I think that's the ceiling of those weapons at least, right? And you'd like to find a guy with a ceiling as a 1, so we'll see. Maybe that'll happen in this. But I do tend to agree with you guys where we saw, at the end of the day, if you can't block the other team, you won't win. That's pretty much what it comes down to. That's what happened to the Chiefs. Yes, Mahomes did not do his best of mitigating that. He didn't do a good job of figuring out stuff to beat that. Neither did Reed. But if you can't block the other team, you're probably shit out of luck. That's just kind of what it comes down to. And the Bills, they're very blockable right now. That's just kind of what it comes down to for that too. So, but we'll see. Yeah.
That was my big takeaway from last night is how it took that long in the year, that far into the year, for Joe Thuney to get exposed the way he did in just that whole offensive line in general. An offensive line that Joe Thuney is able to be your starting left tackle. If that's your best option, your offensive line is in rough shape.
And when we get to the AFC West at some point, I bet you we're going to focus a lot on that for the Chiefs. But we'll get there when we get there. But no, I think in general, this division is a little soft in a lot of ways in general. Particularly, actually, the 2 teams that finished the highest in the standings, I think, are kind of the softest potentially up front in different ways, but especially on defense. But we'll get to that point when we get there. But if you guys are ready, we'll start off with the 4th pick with the Patriots here. All right. So we have the quarterbacks go off the board first here. Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, 1-2. Carter at 3. That would have been real nice if you're a Patriots fan to get out Bill Carter for, but it does not happen. But right off the bat, Travis Hunter staring you in the face. That's obviously a big need for them. You get a corner opposite of Christian Gonzalez. You get a weapon to add for Drake May potentially. I keep hearing there's a big kind of divide with scouts about whether he should be a receiver or a corner. He was my number 2 receiver, and that would be if he focused on receiver, obviously. If he spent all this time there, I think he could be that level of player. We'll see what I think of him as a corner and what we think, but there's a lot of people who think he might be better at receiver, right? So maybe that's even a bigger need for them. So that's the guy, obviously, right away I'm looking at. Anybody else you want to throw in the ring there for them?
Now we'll go Travis Hunter.
Yeah. I mean, every time I've mocked this, Hunter has not been available. So like originally I was thinking Will Campbell just for the
Which makes
offensive,
sense. Which
because I
makes
do think
sense.
offensive line's a big need. But if this is how the board's going to play out, yeah, kind of have to go Hunter.
That's kind of where I'm at too. As much as I do like Campbell and I like some of the offensive line, like I'd even consider a Banks here a little early for me for both of them. But like I do think that the range of players in the offensive line that would still be startable and helpful for them is going to be there at that second pick. I think there's still going to be some guys that fall in that range that I think would be starters for them because of how bad the offensive line is. So kind of hard to pass on a guy who could be a generational player, depending on how you kind of consider that word to work. But go Hunter here, pretty easy. Okay, so we got Will Johnson and Tedero McMillan to the Raiders at 6. Whoa, interesting.
Yeah. PFF loves doing that. They've been doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys need a lot of help everywhere. So
At least
I guess
he didn't go number 1.
True. At least he didn't go number 1. Got him all the way down to number 6. Jets.
Yeah.
JTS. Jets. What do we got? So we got, looking at the boards, Mason Graham. Pair him with Quinnen Williams would be fun. We're about to start getting into interior defensive line. That'll be our next position group in a couple weeks. So that would be fun. I had someone, I think it was, I would say Lance Zierlein maybe, had them taking Genty at 7, which is crazy. With Breece, I know Breece Hall has had like an up and down the first couple of years, but I don't know if you could take a running back at 7 if you're the Jets at this point in time. But hey, maybe. Offensive line, if they bring everybody back, is probably in a good enough spot. I mean, I'm probably looking at. Do you think defender is where you want to go here, guys, or do you want to look for an offensive weapon here?
I'm thinking. Can you go back up? I'm thinking defense. I'm kind of torn between two guys here. I'm kind of between Mason Graham, who I think would give him a lot in the middle, or Malachi Starks.
Yeah, for me, like I haven't gotten to the safeties, and we won't get to them for a while, but I don't know if I want to take a safety this high. I'd probably go Graham if I'm going to pick between those two.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the nice thing about Starks is he could be a nickel as well.
That does give him some versatility, of course. So.
Yeah, but I agree. I have Graham a little higher on my board.
Yeah, it would be Graham for me too.
Yeah, I mean him and Quinnen Williams together would be pretty nasty. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, good luck blocking both of them at the same time, especially the running game. I mean, good luck with that. But yes, we'll go Graham here. And then we got the Dolphins up at pick 13. Check here. So Campbell goes, James Pierce 8. Wow, good. Will Campbell goes off the board to stays Louisiana, LSU connection there with the Saints. Malachi Starks goes to the Bears. Interesting. Okay. Mike Green off the board to the Niners. That'd be an interesting fit. Luther Burden to the Cowboys. They need some weaponry there. Thought it would be Jetsy, I would have guessed. But
yeah.
Not. But hey, whatever. Dolphins at 13. I feel like this has got to be either Tyler Warren or an offensive lineman. And I'm willing to listen to several offensive linemen on the board right now. But I think it's got to be one of those two.
Yeah, the responsible pick is offensive line.
It was.
The fun pick is
Warren. Pick is Warren. However, what has being fun gotten the Dolphins, right? That's kind of my thing, right? Is they've been real fun, not been super successful in terms of winning games that mean anything. Now, would Tyler Warren still help them do that? Yes. He is a player that is not just a fun player. He is a truly impactful player in the run game too, and can help do some of that stuff. However, if they're committed to having brain damage kid start a quarterback, guess what you guys put in front of them? A better offensive line than what they've been putting in front of them. They can't keep doing this stuff where it's like, we're going to throw the ball in 2 seconds. Who cares who's playing left tackle? Stop that shit. Put somebody else in front of that guy. So that's kind of where I'm at now. On the board right now, my top player is pretty comfortably Banks. So that's, I know, Jake, you didn't get to put out your offensive line group, so I'm not sure where you're at with the guys on the board. But if we're just looking specifically at offensive line, we have Simmons is up there. Banks,
mine is Versary.
He's a guy obviously going to be down the board a little bit at this point. But Banks,
He's
Mendu.
falling for. I still don't get that.
I do a little bit. We talked about that. Like I have some concerns with him, but he is a prototype in every sense of the word, size and athleticism wise. So he's going to go early. Will he go this early over some of the guys who I think are a little bit more prepared to play? I don't know, but he's probably going to come off the board pretty early. So, but one of these guys in this group, I think, is where we should go here.
Yeah, out of these guys, Banks is my most favorite.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And yeah, I agree. I think, with, would you say brain damage boy?
Yeah, brain damage kid. That's what I'm going with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you have to say that about a QB, you should probably draft an offensive lineman.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. So yeah, I'd be Banks. You'd be Banks, Jake, right? So Dalton, I think you kind of got outvoted here, but
I'm sorry.
Basically, offensive lineman is what we want to do here. Yeah.
That can play. That won't get hurt, hopefully, every year.
Which, I like Simmons, but coming off the knee injury, probably not the right idea for the Dolphins to draft that player because he won't play for them if that happens, probably. All right, let's go Kelvin Banks here. And then we go all the way down to 30 here. So let's see kind of who comes off the board a little bit here. Warren to the Falcons to replace Kyle Pitts, I guess. Ashton Genty goes to the Colts for the second time in a mock.
They love doing that.
Which makes them have the most talented backfield in the history of the sport, which we love to see.
Just wait till they take Travion Henderson in the second.
Yeah. Josh Simmons to the Cardinals. That makes a lot of sense. Mika Ibuka possibly replacing T. Higgins, not the same type of player, but good receiver. Benjamin Morrison, health permitting, we'll see with him, but could be in play in this range. Jack Sawyer feels like a Tampa Bay edge rusher. Michael Williams, super athletic guy for the Broncos. A tackle for the Steelers, man. I hope not, because that means we really screwed up again, man. We can't draft 3 first-round tackles in 4 years, right? We can't do that. It's not allowed, right? No, I don't know. Shamar Stewart, really interesting player, goes to the Chargers. That feels like a Chargers player, too. Kenneth Grant, Walter Nolan, big name right now going Vikings here. Marion Hampton to the Texans would be dirty. Oh, shit. Don't love that if you're the rest of the AFC South. Gray Zabel to the Rams. This would be the team that would take Gray Zabel. They would do this, it feels like. Yeah, they'd be like, why not? Let's just add to that. Josh Connerly to the Ravens makes sense. Could lose their left tackle, Ronnie Stanley. Edge for the Lions. Insert edge player here, honestly, makes sense. And then Matthew Golden to the Commanders. Would not love that. I'd love him to be at pick 21 instead, but whatever. I'm not going to get into that. Bills at 30. Let's take a look at the board here. I want to go immediately. We were talking about it. Let's take a look at this defensive line right away, kind of see what names we got here. Tyleik Williams might be a fit. Might be a good fit here. I feel like people are going to be torn on him because I don't think he's a great pass rusher from what I've seen, but he can stuff the run, man. That's for sure. He can stuff the run, so.
Looking at did Morrison from Notre Dame come
Seattle
off the board
18. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at corner we have Jahdae Barron still. He's not going to be here, I don't think, but he is on the board right now. Trayvon Siobhan Ravel is still here, so that's a fun name to throw out there. Still some good edge players on the board. Again, Tyleik Williams is probably the best interior guy. Sanders, very explosive, but probably not the type of beef they need up front right now when they already have a smaller pass rusher inside. So corners definitely interesting though. They could definitely use more of those. We cannot have Kyer Elam out there falling down on the house. Cannot have that happen anymore. So
I like Jahdae Barron here.
It would be a good fit. Although I wonder if his best fit is inside where they already have I can't think of his name right now. Yeah, and people know who I'm talking about.
I'm based on his name too, but I know.
Yeah, but we all know. Yeah,
he can play kind of a little.
He can play outside, but I wonder if his best fit long term would be
his best
inside.
fit. Yeah, it's probably.
That's what I mean. Doesn't mean you can't play him outside, especially in their scheme where they don't seem to care as much about like high end athleticism with the corner spot stuff.
Yeah. The defensive value is not
as much as I was hoping it would be.
I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, you could take the chance on Siobhan Ravel, but that's kind of doing the same thing they've done before and gotten burned. But I do like Ravel, so
if we're married to defense here, I'd say Williams.
Okay. Yeah, me too, honestly.
Is there anything else on the board that
receiver?
could this be a BPA pick?
So what was that, Dalton?
Yeah, I mean, could this be something where you think they maybe go BPA
I mean,
here?
if we just go everybody available, the best player on the board, according to them, according to the board, is Tyreek Williams. I mean, they can't take Loveland, I don't think, because you'd have way too many tight ends to feed.
Yeah. I don't think so either.
People like Demetrius Knight. Have not watched him enough to know if he'd be worth a linebacker pick there. I mean,
yeah, I don't mind Williams here if this is the way the board's looking.
That's kind of. I mean, it would really probably be Williams or Ravel. Could you take a swing on a corner?
Williams,
I mean, Tyler. Again, that's more of what they really are missing on the inside is that size and that ability to stop the run. That I think would be really helpful for that front, because you're not getting an edge rusher here that I think is a huge difference maker. Like maybe if you love like a, maybe we will. Donovan Ezraku, I can see myself like talking myself into. Princely Yellen. Landon Jackson's a little too stiff for me. I don't think he's going to be that type for them. So I'd probably be Tyreek Williams for me too.
Yeah,
we'll go with Tyreek here. And we're back up at 38 with the Patriots. So let's take a look. Loveland goes to the Titans. That would have been a good fit for them. Linebacker for the Chiefs, interesting. Hey, edge for that's who would take the Ezraku would be the Eagles. Then he'd be insane for them probably. Barron goes off the board. Amos, Loveland. There goes Ravel. You guys get Jahad Campbell. Maybe that's good.
Why? So does that mean we're
Probably not
re-signing
Probably
Spillane?
not in this scenario.
Great.
Maybe that's a bad omen. I apologize if so. But no, I think we went the more fun / like just home run pick in the first round with the Patriots. Let's take a look at what this board is looking for.
This has to be a tackle.
Like, to me, it's either
tackle or just offensive lineman.
Somewhere on the line.
Ursery is still here. I know you're a big fan. You said Dalton, obviously. So that would make a lot of sense.
I'd be good with Ursery or Donovan Jackson
one of these
here.
Two.
Because Jackson, I think, gives you more options with his versatility.
You could go for the safety of Booker, but like you need more outside help than inside help at this point for me. So like, I don't know.
I would probably lean Jackson a little bit more, but I would be okay with Ursery too.
Yeah.
I just think Jackson's versatility maybe a little more.
Maybe. You just get 2 shots at a guy working out of positions he's shown he can play at. Whereas with Urser, like you could move him inside theoretically, but he's got a tackle build, and I don't know if he's really the type of run game guy, especially power player, that you'd think he would be at his size. So I'd probably lead Jackson here too. Yeah, we'll go on with Jackson here.
Yeah, that way if you get another, you're probably going to go after another offensive lineman at some point in this draft, and this kind of keeps you from home.
Yeah, very easily could. Up at 42 with the Jets here, so we took Mason Graham. So looking at the board here, I mean, Xavier Watts comes to mind. We were already thinking about Malachi Starks earlier, potentially Dalton.
When I did this, the guy that came up for me, especially with the news we were talking about before the show with Rodgers, maybe Jalen Milroe here.
I was thinking about this.
Do we load up on defense?
I was thinking about that
and just run and then just run the Jalen Hurts offense with Milroe and the Jets.
I mean,
and just try to grind out wins.
Maybe.
I had that exact thought this morning at like 9 a.m.
I mean, I think for the Jets, it just comes down to like, what are you going to actually do? Like, if Rodgers isn't coming back, which I'm not saying he should, but if he isn't, is it Tyrod Taylor and then a rookie like we'd be doing here? Do you try to find a partner for a trade? It's tough because if you're Aaron Glenn, like, I feel like he doesn't want to play the game of like, let's just do quarterback musical chairs for however long we have to. I think he wants to try to find a solution as soon as possible. You're not getting that in free agency or via trade, at least not for long term. They might feel they need to take a shot at somebody. And in the second round, that's probably where you're going to have to do it if you want to get ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they're going to have to draft a quarterback this year, and I don't think they're getting one in the first round.
No, I don't think so. I think both of them will be off the board by then, and even if they aren't, is it the best fit for the Jets team? It's debatable. Milroe just, man, it's tough with him. Like, it just is.
It doesn't feel fair.
No, it doesn't. But like, as a second round pick, if you're not good as a quarterback, you get replaced in a year. No one cares. Like, look at Malik Willis, the situation with him, and then now same thing with freaking Will Levis, both second round pick. Well, I think Willis was an early third, I think, right? But again, mid round quarterback picks, when they don't work out, it's no one really cares. It feels like no one remembers that because you didn't take him in the top 10, right? Now, if you took Jay Miller in the top 10 and told me, we're going to make him the quarterback, I'd be like, I learned Chinese, buddy, but whatever. But in the second round, I'm willing to consider it. I will say that. Like, it's not something that it's not something I'd be shocked by if it happened.
I think Milroe or any QB in the second or third round is their most likely QB option for next year, because I really don't see a free agent that makes sense to me going there. Really. I don't envision Russell Wilson or Justin Fields or
I hope
not Sam Darnold.
No, Darnold's not going back there. I'll tell you that much.
And
that'd be my God.
Not Rodgers, surely, and they're not drafting one in the first round. So I think this actually could be their most likely spot to get a QB.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree. Like, if you're going to take a swing at somebody, you should do it now just to get ahead of the field, because I do think this is the sweet spot for when we can see the third guy come off the board. Yeah. I know Dart keeps being brought up in the first round. I can't stomach that. I'm not doing that shit.
No,
if someone wants to do that, if someone wants to do that, good for them. Not going to be me. So yeah, you won't see his name in this mock, at least not right now. So I'm willing to listen to Milroe. If not, though, I do think the name that comes to mind immediately is Xavier Watts, just to help that back end.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think ultimately, though?
I'd be good with either of those. I think quarterbacks kind of. I think for the Jets, you gotta at least have some semblance of a plan.
Yeah, if I'm good with Watts here, I think if there's no quarterback plan at this point, then I think you have to go QB here. But if they have, I think it could depend on how free agency goes. But I could, I'd talk myself into either.
I'll just for the sake of the fun aspect of it, I'll go Milroe on my pick here, or like my decision, just because I do think it's not that insane to think about happening, right? Like, it wouldn't be that shocking if it did. So we'll take him here. Pick 48 for the Dolphins.
Yeah, I think you take Milroe in a free agent.
Yeah, I mean, Tyrod Taylor's still there. I mean, he's as bridgy as it gets as a quarterback, dude. He might be the bridgiest quarterback that's ever bridged, especially because he's going to get hurt in like week 9, and then Miller's going to have to go out there and bullshit around for 10 weeks and go home. Like, that's what's going to end up happening probably. So,
which honestly, the mid-season injury for a bridge quarterback is super convenient.
Yeah,
you don't have to sell the promotion of the rookie.
It's just got to happen.
It just has to happen.
What are you going to send?
You don't have to tell your locker room that no, this guy is beat him out.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to send Jordan Travis out there instead? I don't think so. Probably not. No, but so the Dolphins up at pick 48 here. So they took Elvin Banks in the first round. Love that pick. Now we start looking at just kind of, I think, now that they've addressed the offensive line at least once. Ursery's still here, obviously, so that's interesting, but already took a tackle. Xavier Watts comes to mind immediately again here because I keep hearing that Holland isn't coming back, which is a little crazy to me, because if you have a good defensive player on the Dolphins, you should probably keep that player. But if you can't or won't, Watts is at least replacement that can offer some playmaking on the back end. So that's the first guy that comes to mind. But any other guys you guys are thinking right now? I can look around the board, show you guys.
I like Watts. That was also the first person that came to my mind. Could you go to the D line though?
Yes, yeah. So if we go to, I'll throw Edge up too, just because. But Norman Lott is up here. Derek Harmon's still on the board. He won't be, I don't think, personally. I took him in a mock draft I did for the Steelers recently at pick 52 because he was there. I don't think he's going to be based on what I'm hearing, but he's still sitting here. Darius Alexander had a huge Senior Bowl week. He's getting a lot of fans. Probably not this early for me personally, but some guys here for sure. So,
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Dalton?
Yeah. Watts probably makes the most sense. Real quick, is Harold Fannin Jr. still on the board?
He most certainly is. Yes.
He is. That would be a fun pick in their offense.
Would be fun. I think if I'm not mistaken, is what's his name? I can't think of his name. The tight end for them right now.
It's a very traditional tight end.
Well, no, but not him.
Or Johnny Smith, right?
Yeah, Johnny Smith. Fannin would be an interesting fit as a replacement long term for him, but I do think Smith is still under contract, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So it doesn't mean you can't take him, but I'm just saying like they have that fit currently.
Yeah.
And he was phenomenal down the stretch last year. So plus honestly, at this point, I'd be interested in like an Arroyo in that offense as a vertical threat potentially too, the tight end. With the way I didn't get to watch him for the tight end episode. I'm going to watch him more, but I am a big fan. He had a weird season where it was like big games and then not much else besides that sometimes, but the talent is clearly there. We saw that at Senior Bowl. But that would be an interesting fit too, as kind of a long-term replacement at tight end with Fannin. Any other positions you guys want to look at?
Also, do we look at Restrepo as a possible Tyreek Hill replacement?
I mean, couldn't be more different players, but receiver, sure.
Yeah, I mean, speed-wise.
I like Restrepo. Yeah, I do like him, but I'm just curious Tyreek Hill's going to be on this football team. There. Yeah, that one feels like as much as he's lower on this board, I don't think he makes it this far. Doesn't mean we can't.
Yeah,
but I think he gets taken late first round, early second, if it's that late at all. So.
But if you're the Dolphins and you see him on the board here, I know he's not necessarily a need, but their defense has a lot of holes.
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely take him for the sake of this mock because he's here.
Although I don't know if he'd probably do something similar to what Chop's doing.
Yeah, I mean, similar profiles as rushers, but Walker with actual linebacker experience, which gives him a little bit more versatility.
Yeah.
But
it's just, do you want two small edge rushers?
I mean, ideally you have at least one of Chubb and what's his name back as well.
Yeah.
At some point, but I don't know. Like with those two, it's hard to say. Walker's an interesting fit, though.
Be interesting.
I mean, they got two at least, and then the husk.
Yeah, but are they?
Yeah.
They're good fantasy backs.
That's an awesome way to describe them. Yeah, that's an awesome way to describe them.
But I don't know. But no, I'm good with Watts here.
Yeah, I think it's the right combination of one of the better players available and potential huge need because of what we're hearing about free agency with them. And that might change by the time we get closer to the draft when free agency is played out. But that's kind of where I still land too. What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, when we first started talking about this pick, that was the first name that came up for me. So I think, I'd be okay with Watts here.
All right, let's take him here. And we're at 56 with the Bills. Some Chargers taking Caleb Johnson. Look out. Sorry, fellas. Shit. Jaden Higgins, love that for my Steelers, although the Bills probably could have used that type of pick too. Scatabo to the the Buccaneers would have the most grinded out, most freaking scratch for every inch back for the history of the sport. Bucky Irving and Scatabo on the same team would be hilarious.
Is Scatabo really going to go that high?
I think so, man. I think so.
I don't see it.
I don't think he should, but I think somebody's going to.
Jake's trying really hard to be like, nah, I'm right. You guys wrong. He's running back 3. Fuck you guys.
I can't wait to see what he runs at the combine.
If he runs honestly, I think
he shouldn't do the combine.
He probably shouldn't, but if he
runs, the combine will only hurt him. It can't possibly help him.
honestly, if he runs anything within the 4.5 range, I think teams are gonna be like, "That's fast enough. I don't care. Give me that guy.
Yeah.
Give me that dude." If he runs like a 4.58, they're like, "That's fine. Who cares? You don't have to be fast at running back. He breaks tackles, guys. He breaks people miss. Who gives a shit?" Like, and to some degree, I'm like, "Yeah, all right, you know." But yeah, I think he's going top 60 at least. If I had to guess, I really do, and we'll see how it works out. I don't know. But no, Bill's up here. So we took Tyleik Williams, ate our vegetables. We had to do that a little bit here. Now Jalen Walker to the Bills.
I'm running that
really
card
fun.
in. If
Yeah,
he's on the board here, I'm running the card in if I'm the Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, will he be? No, probably. But
Ideal,
hell, it's on.
ideal
Split
Von Miller
teams to the
replacement.
Yeah, this is the pick if he's here. Might as well get him off the board. This was what it comes down to. Jordan Birch going ahead of Derek Harmon is funny in this case. The Texans took Dylan Sampson too. What did I didn't do anything wrong to the sim. What happened to the sim in this case?
This is just like the Colts from like 3 mock drafts.
It is.
Still
Joe Mixon, O'Marion Hampton, and Dylan
PFF
Sampson.
just wants to at some point see the best running back room in the history.
And to be honest with you, I respect that. I really do, but it is messing with me a little bit. I'm not a fan of this situation whatsoever.
Yeah.
The Lions taking a linebacker makes sense because that's what they do. The Commanders have Derek Harmon and Matthew Golden in this draft so far, which is disgusting. Whatever. But Bill's up again at 62. So we took again just Walker, which is again probably not going to be the case, but hey, whatever. Now some interesting guys here. Like this time last year, I would have said maybe they need a right tackle replacement, but Spencer Brown was phenomenal this past year, so I think they can not worry about that now. So offensive line was really good, played really well this past year. I don't think you need to go there. Receivers, well, I don't know about that group. I like some of these players, but I don't know if I like them at pick 62 necessarily. Maybe Royals. Maybe.
I mean, I like Bond a lot. I'm a lot higher.
I know Dalton likes Bond. We know speed. This would be the chance to draft Xavier Worthy again, but worse in my opinion. So hey, maybe it works out though. Still, I don't know. I'd listen to it. I'm still very much low on this player for a multitude of reasons, but at least I can get behind that element of it. But no, receiver is kind of iffy a little bit.
What's their corner?
At corner is fun too. Maxwell Hairston's there. Thomas isn't. I don't know if he's making it to 62, but they could just do the thing where they take all the players that fell in this mock because of the mock we're using. Hey, why not?
Dotson. Both the Kansas corners are good.
Yeah,
I think Hairston would probably be best corner available here.
What are you thinking, Jake?
Kind of like Jalen Royals, but kind of don't want to do it.
I think the problem with him is I think his ideal fit is like a second receiver, third receiver.
They would kind of just continue their trend of having a bunch of like 1Bs.
That's kind of my point, is that you're getting to the point where it's like, how many number 2 receiver prototypes can we get on this team before the world falls apart around us? Like,
how many slightly above average receivers can we possibly have?
Literally, yeah. It's like, all right. I don't know, but we could, again, like the best player on the board, according to the board, is Cam Williams. But again, I just don't think they need to take offensive line. Haven't watched Ivy, don't know enough about him.
But
we're to linebacker. What's up?
What's the age looking like of the Bills' offensive line?
I want to say Dawkins is not young by any means, but he's a tackle. He's still very good, so I don't think he's like at risk of falling off necessarily. They drafted the guard out of Florida. I can't think of his name right now. So he's just recently, so he's still very young. Is McGovern still playing center for them? Or is there someone else playing? I honestly don't remember their offensive starting.
I was gonna say
right now.
Williams could be a good like stash pick for like a guy that you're not expecting to play for a year.
Potentially, I'm kind of curious myself, real quick.
But no, their whole offensive line is well under 30.
That's what I thought, but I didn't want to like just take a guess at that.
No, Dawkins. Dawkins is the oldest O lineman on their roster at 30.
Yeah, right. So that's kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
Could you look at like maybe if you're not going to be able to make a huge upgrade at the receiver room, could you look to pair a running back with Cook?
Oh, Henderson is still on the board.
Like a Henderson, a Judkins,
Ooh.
maybe fit next to a Cook. Like that could be.
I like the idea of Henderson with his home run ability.
Yeah. Better as much as Cook is a good pass game player, Henderson's probably a better one, especially in pass protection at this point.
That would just be a deadly change of pace to throw Henderson in 20 snaps a game.
Because right now they're throwing Ty Johnson out there on third downs a lot, and no offense to Ty Johnson, he's been good for them, but you could probably upgrade there. And Ray Davis is already kind of a good power player behind Cook, so you don't necessarily need to go with the Judkins here. I'd be open to Henderson in this group too.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I
like Henderson.
Jake? Plus, he doesn't go to the Chiefs then. No, I don't know if they would take him. Yeah, we'll go Henderson. I think we all kind of like that one. Back up. Oh, hey, got your quarterback, guys.
Oh no.
Man, the Raiders are having one. The Raiders are having one of the drafts.
God.
What was the second round pick for the Raiders again?
It was
Campbell, right?
Yeah, I think so. Wait.
God, man.
Yeah, it was John Campbell.
No.
Yeah.
I'll say this. If there was ever an offense in the NFL that Dylan Gabriel might succeed in,
Maybe.
Chip Kelly offense, right?
Yeah, that's true. Potentially.
I don't want to talk myself.
That's not going to be fun to watch at all.
Yeah, you guys are having one of the drafts of all time without us controlling them. Patriots back on the clock. So, again, we have Travis Hunter. We have Donovan Jackson. Cam Williams still sitting here. Wyatt Milam's still sitting here. Could you just double up at offensive line? Is it really that complicated for this team? Maybe not. As much as I love Ramondre Stevenson, could use some more running back depth for sure.
As much as I don't love Ramondre Stevenson, Judkins sounds like a good pick. But I think Williams would make a lot of sense here.
Yeah, that's more of the high upside play, but maybe you throw him at guard ultimately, and he just works out because of the size and athleticism there. Could be one of your tackles, though, if it works out. So, what do you think, Jake?
You got to protect May at this point. Like that was a huge issue last year.
Yeah, there's a reason why he averaged 9 yards a carry or some bullshit like that because he just running for his life every time he took off from the pocket. Yeah. But yeah, I'm good to run the card in for Williams here. I think this is about as low as I could see him ever going, frankly, with his tools. Yeah. So I think this is a good fit for them.
I like this draft for the Patriots so far.
They got back up again. Now this is where if we wanted to look at some more weaponry. On bring some speed. Again, not the biggest fan of him, but tight end. As much as Hunter Henry was the only good player on their offense for some reason last year, receiver wise or weaponry wise, he's getting up there. So one of the tight ends could definitely be a good fit here.
Fannin still being on the board is tempting.
Yeah, that'd be a fun fit.
He's really fallen down the board.
He is. Yeah, I think a lot of people – I see more and more that people are like, this dude's a fullback or an H-back and nothing else in the league. That's what I hear a lot of people saying at this point. Which, not saying he couldn't be those things and be successful, but that's, you're not drafting that in the top 100 probably even. So.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, Marcel Reese had a pretty successful run.
Bringing it back to the rate. No, I used to do – dude, I would bully people with him on Madden.
I love a good Marcel Reese mention.
But that's honestly, that's not a. I feel like that's not a bad comp for him, considering Reese was a converted receiver.
Yeah, not necessarily. Yeah, but it's a fun pick if we were to do that. What else we got here?
Judkins still on the board here?
No, I think he's off the board. Best running back's Neal, which I like a lot, but Harvey, dude. I think the only person who likes Harvey more than me is Trevor here with PFF because he's got him inside the top 100, which respect. Will we be wrong?
Respect.
Maybe. But I respect it.
Harvey might be closer in age to Drake May's parents than Drake May.
Hey, maybe. Who knows? Watch it turns out that he was like 15 his first year in college somehow for some reason. We've all been shitting on him for that for no reason. He's like 21. It's like, what the hell were you doing, dude? You smartest dude I've ever seen. What are you talking
There
about?
was a dude that got busted for that like a few years ago. He was like 20-something playing like high school football.
Hell yeah, dude. No, I'm just kidding. No, don't do that. Everyone, don't do that, please. Don't be that guy who does that. No, but I think you got to go offensive weaponry here. Personally, you just kind of have to. Again, we took our medicine with the last 2 picks. Now we got to have some fun. You know, we got to get the lollipop after medicine.
I really like Isaiah Bond.
Bond and Hunter combo would be a lot of
that
fun.
would be so fun.
It would
Drake
be really
Bond and Hunter
if he learns how to play his no, I'm not going to hate on him. No, if you guys want to go Bond, I'm again with a team like this that just needs some juice. I will happily take a shot on a guy like that at this point.
I think that would be really fun.
Yeah. Like you start getting in this range of the draft, despite what I thought about Bond, I'm like, you know, at this point you can take anybody, and if they got his tools, I'm like, yeah, why not? Sure. Is that where you guys want to go then here?
Yeah.
Yeah. I won't fight you on that. All right, so let's go to the Jets here at 92. One of the picks from Detroit. So again, we took Mason Graham and Jalen Milroe. What an interesting combination of players to draft with your first 2 picks. I feel like I'm going to end up liking Nick Emmanwori a lot more than this mock draft does, as many people do. I've seen people have him as high as their top 10 players in this draft. I'm not expecting that to happen, but probably closer to that than 86 based on what I've been hearing. But that would make some sense. We talked about safety with this team twice already. Kind of just looking at the board. If you just want to really get the beefiest beef that's ever beefed in the interior, you can take Deone Walker and see what that looks like.
Kuba could be fun.
Yeah, another safety type for sure.
I think with if you're rolling with Milroe as your quarterback, I think you got to invest heavily in the defense and or get him a tight end.
Okay, tight ends on the board. Mason Taylor. Hey, Jets. It's got some Jets ties a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I wouldn't be too upset with that.
No.
Take Jackson Haas and run the ball 70 times again. No. This dude's not real, right? Thomas Fadone the second. There's 2 of you. I don't know about that. Here's your receiver gaslighting us into thinking he's a tight end. Love to throw that out there. Tight end makes some sense. I could do that. The defense was just so disappointing last year, but I feel like a lot of it was because they fired the guy who was the defensive coach, despite the fact that the offense was dog shit.
I think that team also kind of just stopped giving a shit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
So
they fired the one guy who wasn't really the problem.
Yeah, it was like the problem was that you thought that 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers was going to be the answer to your problems, and it turns out not so much. Yeah, so. But hey, Devontae Adams and him got to hang out for a while. Is that really what all the
easiest 3rd round pick the Raiders could have gotten?
And what did they do with it? Let's see. Where's their?
God, I don't even want to.
No, that was the Dylan Gabriel. Was it the Dylan Gabriel pick?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was. Yeah, there it is.
No, they got Judkins.
Oh, hey.
With the Jets pick.
Not bad. Does it mean that the other picks were better now? No.
I love taking Gabriel and then taking Judkins after.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's so funny to me.
Kelly is calling the shots.
No, honestly, Will Howard's going to be the quarterback for you guys. That's who's going to be. But it's going to be a pick
as long as I'm not watching Gardner
something
throw a ball, I'm fine. I literally could not care less.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. Yeah. Anyway, Jets here, like I said. I think one of these 2 players at the top of the board. Mason Taylor, I was a decent fan of. I haven't watched the safeties yet, so I can't touch on him. So
Yeah.
I think the bigger need would be safety, I guess.
That's
But
fair.
at the same time, like I don't know, Milrow's probably just gonna tuck and run a lot, man. So does it matter? That's what I'd be telling them to do. Like, hey, your first read's not
I
open.
think
Go be a running back, please. Do that.
Yeah.
Awesome, cool.
your defense is going to need to be really good if Milrow's your quarterback.
Yeah, probably. So, hey, even if it's Tyrod Taylor, still would be nice to have the defense be good. Maybe he doesn't have to go out there and sacrifice his body and get hurt in week 4.
Do they still have him?
Yeah, he's under contract next
Okay.
year. And
There's a-
honestly,
there's a
they
bridge.
better let him start because if they don't, I'm going to be sad because I like to watch that man play for the 4 games he plays every year.
Or
You know,
if they bring in a different veteran for a bridge, it might not be Sam Darnold, but return of Geno Smith be interesting.
if the Jets traded for Geno Smith, they actually better try to make the playoffs, in my opinion. Because otherwise, I'm going to be mad. Because I'd like to have Geno Smith as my quarterback if they're not going to try to make the playoffs.
I need to see Geno Smith start a playoff game for the Jets.
Yeah,
Just
that'd be
for full
elite.
circle on it.
That'd be elite. Everybody'd be like, "What year is it? What the?" No. But no, I think I'm leaning Warrior here.
Yeah, I can
That
get
works.
behind that.
Yeah.
It is a little bit bigger of a need.
And we got the Dolphins up again for the last pick for the AFC East for a 3-round mock. So again, just to recap, Kelvin Banks, Xavier Watts. Now, if we wanted, could go as tight end still, if you guys like the idea of tight ends. At this point, best player on the board would be Mason Taylor, according to the mock here. Do you take a chance on a quarterback in case Tua's head doesn't work again? Will Howard
does not feel like the guy for a Mike McDaniel offense. That seems
I
like
don't think so either. Hey, maybe you just do the same thing that Jackson Dart had done for him and hold his hand the entire time and say, hey, Jackson, listen, just throw the slant, brother. Throw the
if you were going to go quarterback here, I would my pick would be Dart.
Let's do, hey,
maybe
can I interest you in the very opposite of Tua Tagovailoa and give you Kyle McCord, please? He would throw 70 interceptions because as soon as he doesn't take 2 seconds to throw, the play would break down because no one would know what to do anymore.
I think McDaniel would quit. If Chris Greer tried to force McCord on him, I think McDaniel would quit.
Yeah. See, I like McCord probably the most out of this group of quarterbacks that's currently left, simply because I know that dude's going to do something. He's going to rip that thing. Now, the Dolphins' offense, not ideal a lot of the time. Not super good to do that. So I agree with you on that one. Maybe the only guy worse, Quinn Ewers, because he would have even less pocket presence than Tua. I think.
Quinn Ewers might be the funniest player they could pick here.
Probably. Yeah.
If you have Tua and Ewers, that emergency quarterback position on the Dolphins would be the most valuable quarterback spot.
Literally, who is the third quarterback? Who
You're basically a
guaranteed
week 6 starter.
Literally, it's insane. Yeah. It'd be ridiculous, but it'd also be very funny. No, but
just Skylar Thompson or someone like that.
He's currently a Steeler, believe it or not, as a futures contract. So no, actually.
Isn't he the only QB on the
roster? Yes, currently yes, and frankly, I don't care. Sure. Looking at this, I mean, Kobe Bryant's on the board still. Jordan Phillips has his fans. Could use some more beef up front. So there's that. That's an option too. Who else here?
Jared Wilson, just because he's really the only center in this draft.
True. And their current center is, I think, the 270-pound whatever his face is from the Titans that they took that they signed for agency last year. I mean, if you're gonna play center 270, play for the Dolphins. Now Jared Wilson's not 270, so maybe they don't want him. I don't know, but I don't know. It's a surprisingly tough pick. I mean, I think Mason Taylor the connection to the Dolphins. Obviously, is Jason Taylor's. Is it his son? Right. I want to say.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's
I had
definitely
no
related.
idea.
I don't remember if it's son or like nephew or something, but I know he is related to Jason Taylor. So that would be interesting. Family ties, position of need potentially eventually. Johnny Smith still there, but he'd be more of that like true like full size tight end. So maybe like that. Then again, me and McDaniel's like, I don't want that. I don't want that. But I don't know. What do you guys think ultimately here?
Yeah. Man. I'm kind of leaning somewhere on the offensive line, just because.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I mean, literally guard and tackle are the two top needs for this team, and then it's only because they just signed. Again, I can't think of his name right now, but the center last year. That's the only reason he's probably not the top need. Also, like,
Yeah.
let's take a look at the offensive line group again, outside of just Jared Wilson. So Jalen Rivers, who interesting guy. Hey, Willie Lampkin is their size profile they like.
And that's what's available.
Yeah. Emory Jones Jr. sitting here.
I actually kind of like that a decent amount.
I do too, actually. I think he'd be a really good guard for them. Also, the exact opposite of player they normally like, but they need to start doing that because I don't know if you know this, Mike. That shit ain't working. I hate to break it to you, buddy. You need to play some real football sometimes. We love the jet motion. We love the shit that you're doing with stuff. You got to play football at some point.
Run the damn ball.
See, I'm not trying to be a boomer in this take, but we've kind of gone a little too far. I think there is a level of which you're not playing enough football anymore, and it's kind of been shown that you need to play some football at some point. It's not always in Miami. It's not always 92 degrees outside. Let's just start trying to be a little bit more prepared to do something outside of the state of Florida. Maybe.
Yeah.
Emory Jones will do that for you. Yeah, I think he would do that for you. What did you think about him, Jake?
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I think he's a really good guard prospect potential, especially. Like I think you could theoretically stick him to tackle in the right system, but he's more of a power guard to me. And they could use literally anybody. So I don't care what position he plays. Yeah, I think I'm good with that. Mistake, man. All right. So I think if we're looking at this draft for these teams, right, I feel like I want to say I like the Jets draft the most, mostly because you take a swing at a quarterback, and if it works, you look awesome. And if it doesn't, people will forget about it in 2 years if you actually figure out who the quarterback is.
Yeah.
Kind of get a swing for the fences no matter what. You're kind of happy with it. But no, I think we did a pretty good job for these. Yeah. I think this was at least. I think the Patriots actually probably the best draft.
Yeah.
Probably.
Because you can get you get Hunter, which gives you that injection of talent on a roster that doesn't have much, and then you get Drake May protected, and then you give him a weapon.
You get Cam Williams. Yep. You give him Isaiah Bond, who again, if he's good, you're loving that. Yeah, I think that's definitely probably the best group we got there for sure. But no, I think the AFC East is really interesting because the Bills are probably just going to be around because of Josh Allen. Like that's just kind of a given.
Yeah.
But one of these other three teams has to be able to figure out a way to compete with them. And I don't really know, like, I guess because of the fact that the Patriots have the quarterback that you're most confident in, amazingly, despite where we're at with Tua, mostly because of his injuries and also because of the fact that sometimes he just doesn't really do anything out there. Let's just be honest about it. The Patriots have the best, I think, alleyway to get up there because they've hopefully figured that out, but now they actually have to do the right things around him. And I think as much as Mayo probably deserves in some cases another shot there, it might be the best thing for them that they just went like, let's just get a dude in the room who knows what this is like and can figure that out if we're able. So,
yeah.
Any final thoughts on the AFC East in general, kind of what we did with the draft, where PFF is ranking players? Because apparently they also believe in the three-headed backfield more than anything else in the sport. Which I'm not
It
saying
happens
they're
to
wrong.
one team every mock.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're wrong.
It's
But
bad though. Like, it's almost at a point where like it's hard to like actually use it as like
use it seriously.
It's really like becoming unserious.
Yeah.
that's why next episode is just spoiling that for anyone watching right now. Is going to be a full 2-round mock draft with us picking for every team. Because then guess what? We're not taking 2 running backs for the Texans back.
I'm gonna force it to happen somehow.
No, Jake's gonna be like, no, actually, guys, listen to me. If you think about it,
It'll be longer. So like our 2nd round pick for a team might have been like 30 minutes ago, and
That's
nobody's
true.
gonna remember that we picked Caleb Johnson the round before, and then
Fair enough.
And then when we get
maybe.
the recap, surprise!
Like, wait, what the? Jake's like, I'm gonna try to see how many times I can do this, and we're just not gonna notice. And then we're gonna get to it's like
every single draft pick, I'm gonna be like, can you go to the running backs?
Can you check the running backs real quick? I don't know if they have enough running backs. Meanwhile, it's like we're on the Chargers are taking 3 running backs. It's like, how did we even do that? We only had 2 picks. What are we doing? So, no. I think the running back class, as strong as it is, you don't need to take them just because they're there. Just saying that PFF, like,
yeah,
BPA is great until you have 3 running backs who all are going to get 7 carries a game, and then no one's ever actually able to get going.
And no one can block for them because you
Nope.
don't ever draft offensive linemen.
It's like the Penei Sewell, Jamar Chase meme, but somehow way dumber than that. Like,
it's like that, but you just have a QB and 3 running backs.
yeah, hey, 2 of them can pass block, and the other one can go out for a route. Jeez, they're running the fucking Georgia Tech offense from before they stopped doing that shit.
You could just go into a wing tee.
Yeah, right. I need an NFL team just for one game as a joke to run the wing tee the entire time. Like, it needs to be like a week 18 game or a week 20 game the way we're going or whatever the fuck it's going to be. And it's got to be like all backup players. Like Joe Milton running the wing tee would be awesome. You know what I mean?
Wing tee was like one play action.
One play action pass.
80 yards down.
Before we get out of here, I did want to mention this because I know, Jake, you've probably heard some of this noise as well because the Steelers thing. Joe Milton apparently is potentially a trade candidate already. And teams have been interested.
Well, you have one really fun game, and
you go out there one time and do wild shit, and they're like, "Hey."
So, is that a thing to the Steelers?
I've heard that. We wrote something was written. It's still current about that, and I was like, We talked about it actually on my on the Steelers show last week. It was, and I was like, no.
Yeah, no, I don't like to start.
I'm not giving up an asset for a dude who was taken in the 6th round.
You can't have Russell Wilson and Justin Fields and then decide that Joe Milton is going to be your starter. I don't think that's something that you should be allowed to do.
No.
I think Omar Khan would have to be gone if that.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. If you want to give up a 6th-round pick for a 6th-round pick that last year, sure, I guess. Because, like, at least he has more tools than anyone in this class probably does. But there's a reason he was drafted in the 6th round, guys. Not one fun start against the Bills backups does not equal now he needs to be traded for an actual asset. Maybe if he does it next year and May misses like 3 games and he goes out there and just does the same shit to actual NFL defenses, we can have a conversation. Sure. But he was a 6th-round pick despite being the freakiest freak that's ever freaked. It doesn't matter if you can't play quarterback at the NFL level or the college level for the most part. That's kind of the problem.
Yeah, they just need to bring Justin Fields back.
Yeah.
But it's like if you're Justin Fields, why would you not wait until free agency?
I don't know.
Because I don't know if I'm the Raiders, I would hand Justin Fields a little bit of money.
How much would you pay him, Dalton? Like, gun to your head right now, how much you paying Justin Fields to start for the Raiders?
Just give him Gardner Minshew's contract. They signed Gardner Minshew for like $30
annually. Yes. Let's say it's a 2-year contract. How much you paying him?
2 years.
There's like 2 years, like 28 or something like that.
2 years, yeah. I'd say like maybe the Minshew deal would probably be at 2
You
years,
give him
$30 million, maybe
15 a year, just a little. I don't think that would be like probably the 25th highest paid quarterback or something.
The Steelers will pay him more than that if they want.
I would do that and draft like Jackson Dart.
How much do you think the Steelers would pay?
I think given the situation, they would. I think the high end of that number would be getting close to 20.
Well, how much do you think Russell Wilson is getting? You think he's
Well,
getting 40?
guess what? Guess what? If he would have stopped playing football about 6 weeks before the end of the season, might have been 35, 40 for a year or two. Now,
I've heard 40.
He should be happy to play anywhere for anyone for any amount of money. That's my opinion. Mostly because he's already made so much damn money. He can't go into the negotiation and be like, hey, I need $40 million. They're gonna be like, you know what I need? A hole in the head more than that. Get out of my sight.
Future's kids are very high maintenance.
It's very true. You're right.
He's gonna
get. I have a feeling he's gonna get like a Baker Mayfield type of deal, and he's not. He does not deserve it. But
if he does, good for whoever gives it to him. And I hope it's not my team or yours, guys. That's all I'm gonna say there. I hope it's. I don't want it to be the Jets. Actually, I was about to say I don't want it to be the Jets.
Pete Carroll was the first one to be off the Russell Wilson train, so
that's true.
I'd be shocked if the
Raiders. When people made that connection, I know we're kind of venting at this point, but why not? The show didn't last as long as I thought it would. The fact that they were like, oh, Pete Carroll's coach the Raiders now. Russell Wilson's like, why? You realize he got rid of him before. Like this wasn't.
He was the first one to be tired of Russell Wilson.
It's like, you realize the Geno Smith thing started happening while he was still coaching the team, right? Like this isn't. Did everybody forget that was the case? Like, what are we talking about?
No, people get a memory hole of like that last year.
Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson. It's like he doesn't. He probably wants. He might want Geno. Like he might be interested in Geno Smith.
Apparently, that's a thing that like if the Seahawks do decide to like move on from him.
I'd be okay with Geno for a year, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
they're gonna have a mid quarterback somehow, and like just for this next year, it's gonna have to be somebody.
Yeah, they're officially in quarterback purgatory.
Yeah,
I do think, since we're talking about the AFC East today, the funniest backup for Tua ever would be Russell Wilson. Because they do none of the same things.
I think Russell Wilson would kill himself before he ever became a backup quarterback.
Me too. Genuinely. But I think he would be fun because, like, literally the offense would fundamentally be different in every possible way between, like, if those two had to switch out for each other. Russell can't target the middle of the field if his life's dependent on it.
Not anymore.
Tua throws down. He never really has done that in his career statistically. But, like, it's just it's either a check down, throwing the deep ball. The problem is his deep ball is not their deep ball. He's not the type of deep ball that they throw, which is rainbow freaking throws that are actually 30 yards instead of 50 yards because he throws it the second the ball is snapped and it just floats into his hands. Russell's throwing moon shots, bro. Actual deep ball shots. I think it'd be really funny to see those two try to play in the same offense.
I could not picture Russell Wilson and Mike McDaniel having a conversation.
No.
I couldn't do it.
Mike really...
Yeah, pretty bad.
Mike just... So what's this let's ride thing going? What's that about? Wait, where are you riding?
Russell Wilson strikes me as the guy that you make like a joke, you make a clearly sarcastic joke to, and he just responds like you're actually like serious.
For sure, yeah. He's I don't
Shayne,
want to say.
Did you see the Hard Knocks clip of I think after they lost to the Bengals or something? And Cam Hayward was coming off the field, and he said something about, like, we lost 4 in a row. And Russell was just like, we just got to win 4 in a row or something.
Russell's the type of teammate that, like, when things are going well, you're like, hell yeah, we love the enthusiasm. We love the optimism. And then the second it's shitty, and because you're an adult and you're not 17, so you're not really hyped up by the, like, enthusiasm. As soon as you're, like, losing 3 in a row, he comes up, we just got to win. We just got to win, guys. It's like, yeah, Russ, that's the fucking point, you idiot. Of course we're supposed to win. What do you mean? The hell are you talking about? Get out of my face. It's like, get out of my face, dude. Like, you're ass, the team is ass, I'm ass, we all suck. What's wrong with you? Like, get out of here. So funny.
Yeah. That'll forever live in my head. It made me laugh so hard.
Yeah.
Speaking of fun Tua backups.
Okay. Love this. Let's stay on that. Oh,
Ain't
God.
Younger Kirk Cousins, Aiden O'Connell.
No, what we need to do is we need to get all the former AFC starting quarterbacks and put them on the Dolphins. So, like, Zach Wilson and Mac Jones,
Bailey Zapp.
Yeah, Bailey Zapp. Like, just throw them all on the Dolphins and just let them fight for who's behind Tua when he inevitably dies. So, like, that would be the fun thing, just to QB competition.
Darnold legitimately would be the best fit, though. Like, now that you said Darnold,
yeah.
like, now I kind of want that to happen for them.
Yeah, they're stuck on the Tua train, buddy. That thing is running off the rails until the wheels fall off permanently. They're on that train, bro. As soon as they chose to bring back people,
we laugh about it now. To be clear, it's gonna be really, really sad. Like, something terrible and tragic is gonna happen to him.
In 10 years, there's gonna be a 30 for 30, and it's not gonna be a fun one. You know what I'm saying? Like, 10 years from now, we're gonna be talking about this, and it's gonna be very much not fun to talk about. You know, it's gonna he's either gonna not be in the 30 for 30, or or he's gonna be there, but only sort of. You know what I'm saying? You know, it happens, man.
I hope none of the ATB Dolphins fans ever come across.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you're a Dolphins fan, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but they know it. They know what's happening.
They know what's going on.
Us. They know they're killing him. Literally.
I just, dude, some of the memes with Tua are so funny. Unfortunately, like, I wish they weren't funny because it's really not a funny situation. But then it's like, there's one I saw where it was like, Tua, we got to drive the length of the field to win, and then it's just inside his head, it's just a hamster that's dead on a wheel, and it's really bad. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Oh my god.
Because, like, we're making all this about how they need to protect him. They're going to draft a wide receiver in the first round or a corner.
They're going to draft, like, Isaiah Bond at, like, 13.
It would be Isaiah Bond, too.
It's just going to be Tua, Bond's open down the field, and it's going to pan down, and Tua is just, like, upside down on the field. Like, just sitting down, like, staring at his hands, not sure where he's at, and that's what the image is going to be instead of the ball coming out. Jesus Christ, God. You know, if the Patriots draft Abdul Carter, that might be the final straw. That might be what does it, unfortunately. Oh man, that's tough. Jeez, I hope he gains some weight again, because that was the only thing that seemed to help him last time. He just needs to get a little bigger. Yeah. Oh my god. Anyway, I think we've made enough jokes about it. I think we can wrap it up for this week. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll be back again next week, same day, same time, as always. Again, 2-round mock should be a lot of fun. Again, we won't have to worry unless Jake can bamboozle us by doing it himself. I won't have to worry about 2 running backs for the first 2 picks of the draft, probably.
I'm going to find a team with, like, 2 second-round picks and get 3 running backs.
Right. There you go. But should be less of an issue than with the regular mock draft simulator. So, but we'll see you guys